Hello students, we will be studying about synchronous and asynchronous culture, or we can say synchronous and continuous culture method in today's class. Now, what is the meaning of synchronous growth? Something which happens in synchrony. Synchrony means something which happens together, uniformity. So here synchronous culture means all the organisms should grow synchronously. Now, in other words, if I have to put, I want all the organisms to replicate, to duplicate at that given moment, at that given same time, that particular second or that particular minute. If I'm telling I want that particular organisms to double, all the organisms should double. Or if all the organisms are undergoing a period of rest, I want all the organisms to undergo. It's not that some organisms, 50% of the organisms are in septum formation, or 50% of the another 25% of the organisms are undergoing DNA replication. It is not like that. I want all the organisms to be in the same stage of their growth, which means I want the growth to happen synchronously. If I say this minute, this particular second, all the organisms should divide. At that given second, all should divide, should become 2, or should become double, should increase in number. So that's called as synchronous culture. As you all know, the microorganisms, they are all the microorganisms, bacteria, binary fission is generally the mode of replication, and they have three stages. That is, the first stage is cell elongation, the second stage is the DNA replication, and then the septum formation, and finally the two daughter cells will be formed, which we have studied in detail in the last class. Now, why I am talking about this is, we know that there are three stages here. Now, I want all the organisms to be in the same stage of their growth. And also, we had studied that the organisms who are just ready to replicate, the first step is cell elongation. That is, the cells who are just ready to replicate, they become slightly longer in size than their normal size. They become slightly longer in size. So that is one point which you have to remember. And also remember that the organisms who have just replicated, who are into the second generation now, these just replicated cells are slightly smaller than the normal bacterial size. So this is the point which you have to remember. Okay, so we want to have synchrony. We want all the organisms to grow at a particular given time, in the same stage of their growth. So that is what we want here. So that is synchronous growth. Can we get synchronous growth generally when we inoculate a microorganism into a medium? No, it is not possible. When we inoculate into an organism into a fresh medium, some organisms start growing faster, some organisms take time to adjust, some organisms time for repair, etc. So that is the reason that the organisms take their time. They do not divide in synchrony. But how can we achieve this synchrony? Can we achieve? Yes, definitely we can achieve. How? There are different methods. Before going to the different methods, let us see exactly how the graph. We had seen the growth curve of bacteria. Now, if this is the y-axis and this is the x-axis and this is y-axis, this is the time and this is the number of cells. We know that initially, as the time increases, the number remains constant, but there is a curve, that is, some cell starts multiplying, and after some time there is a slight decline. There's an increase in number of cells along with the increase in time. So that's called as a log phase. After some time they will start dying, and then the number of cells dying becomes equal to the number of cells multiplying, and finally the death rate is increased when compared to the cells dividing. So this is the graph which we had seen. This is how normally cells graph is. But if I want a synchronous culture, same x-axis if I'm having time and y-axis if I'm having the number of organisms at that given moment, I want all the organisms to double. It's not that there is an slide here. No, I don't want that slide. All the organisms at that minute, they are all dividing. So there is no slide here. at that minute all are dividing, so there is an increase in number. After division, they have to undergo the rest 2 stages. Again they go through those stages, again all will divide. So we are getting stepwise increase, that is increase in number. The time is not increasing at that minute, at that second the organisms are increasing. Again they are going under a period of rest, or going through other stages, again increase in number. Now after say 1 or maximum 2 generations, this synchrony is lost. Probably I may require the synchrony maximum for 2 generations. By then my purpose would have been solved. Now why do I need the organisms to be in synchrony? Generally for research purposes, I want to know what is the time required for the microorganisms to divide, by which method the organisms will divide. I would want to know how the DNA replication. I want to know the cell division. How does it happen? Is it doubling, or more than 2 cells are formed, or the cell cycle? So basically for research purpose, basically for studying, I do this synchronous. I take this synchronous culture. Now what are the different methods of getting synchronous culture? Separation. The first method is separation based on cell size, and the second method is induction technique. Separation based on cell size is also called as Helmstetter-Cummings technique. Separation based on cell size is also called as Helmstetter-Cummings technique, and the other one is induction technique. Now let us see each one in detail here. Now this is the setup for Helmstetter-Cummings technique, wherein there is a funnel like structure, and this funnel like structure has 2 openings for inlet and for outlet. Now what do I do here is, I will place a filter pad. I will place a bacterial filter. Now what is the meaning of bacterial filter here? Bacterial filter are those filters which will here these filters will allow the bacteria to pass through them. That means normal sized bacteria will easily pass. If I am having a solution of bacteria, if I add the solution through this filter, the bacteria will generally easily pass through it, and in this outlet I will keep a collecting tank wherein all the sample gets collected. Fine. So what do I do here is, that what do? I have a culture. I have a culture with me in which the organisms are growing. They are not in synchrony. So what do? I transfer these organisms through this filter pad. Now when I transfer the organisms through the filter pad, I told you normal bacteria will pass through it. So easily they cross the filter and they get collected in one tank that I place it here. And if you remember, we had seen that generally when the first stage of cell division is cell elongation, that is when cells are just ready to replicate, they are slightly longer than its normal size. So what happens is, if the organisms are in the first stage of their replication, then division, then all those organisms gets entrapped here, they get collected here. Okay, then what do I do is, I will invert this funnel. This part comes up and this part comes down. I invert it. So when I invert it, what happens? The filter pad also gets inverted, and all the organisms that are facing upwards here are now facing downwards, like this. I have just inverted the filter. I have just inverted the entire setup. Now what do is, now I know that all the organisms here who are present here are in the first stage of their cell division, that is cell elongation. All the organisms are in the cell elongation stage. Now what do is, I add fresh sterile medium. Now when I add fresh sterile medium, when it passes through this particular filter, there are no organisms in the medium. When I'm transferring the organisms through this filter pad, what happens? The organisms who have got stuck to the filter pad, through the flushing action, they get flushed out, and I keep a collecting tank here. All the organisms who are getting flushed out with the media gets collected in the tank here. Now I know that all the organisms that are in the tank are in the first stage of their growth, that is cell elongation. Now I have got a synchrony. Next stage will be the DNA replication. So all are in synchrony. So this is one method, Helmstetter-Cummings method, wherein the organisms are easily separated or based on the cell size. The other technique is that I will have a same setup here, Helmstetter, and then I place a filter pad. Now the filter pad is in such a way, is I take the filter pad, the pore size is such a way that the normal sized bacteria, okay, the normal sized bacteria gets entrapped here. So such kind of filter pad I will select. What do I do is, now I have a culture with me in which the organisms are growing randomly. I transfer the culture through this filter pad, wherein, remember, normal bacteria gets entrapped here. So when I transfer the organisms from here, all the bacteria will get collected, will get separated out into the filter pad, and only the organisms who have just divided, that is just after division, remember, if you remember, I had told you, just after division the cells are slightly smaller when compared to its normal size. So those bacterial cells who have just divided, who have not gone to the next stage, who have not gone for the cell elongation or anything like that, those organisms can pass through this filter pad. So those easily pass through the filter pad and I will collect them. Okay, now the organisms that I have collected here, all the organisms that I have collected here in the tank are all those organisms who are in the stage wherein they have just divided. So again I have got a synchronous culture. So this is the method, how I get synchronous culture based on cell size, separation based on cell size. That is Helmstetter-Cumming technique, or separation based on cell size. Moving on to the next technique, that is induction. Now either I can, what is this induction technique is that I give them a shock treatment, that is either I give them unfavorable conditions. Okay, now what do you mean by unfavorable conditions? You know that organisms require nutrition. There are some nutrients which are required in large quantities, some nutrients which are required in more quantities, micro and macronutrients. There are certain physical factors that are required. If you increase or decrease those physical factors, then they will not survive, or they may not grow best. They may undergo a period of rest at that particular stage. So that is what we are going to do here. That is, we are going to give them a shock treatment, that is, we are going to give them unfavorable conditions. When we give them unfavorable conditions, the organisms, all organisms will undergo a period of rest. Now I'll tell you, either we can do that by depletion of certain particular nutrient in the medium, or change in temperature, or change in pH. Now let us consider if change in pH, temperature. Suppose I have a culture with me, and that culture I have microorganisms growing. They are growing randomly. Now what do I do here is, I will the organisms that are growing, I will suddenly increase the temperature. When I increase the temperature, you know that it is an unfavorable condition for the microorganisms. What do the organisms do? The organisms will suddenly, those organisms who will get converted to the spore form. They form a coat around themselves in order to protect themselves from the unfavorable conditions. So that's a period of rest, that they do not feed, they do not require any particular temperature or anything. So that is they undergo a period of rest. So that's, they get converted to the endospores. So all the organisms, when I increase the temperature, if they have the capability, they form endospores. Now I keep this for some time. Whichever organisms are not able to produce endospores, they die. Organisms which are able to produce endospores, they convert themselves from vegetative cells to endospores, and then they are in the endospore form. Now what do I do is, I give them favorable conditions. Now I know that all the organisms are in the spore form. Now when on the return of favorable conditions, all the organisms now at this moment At the onset of favorable conditions, everybody will germinate back, and now the first step of replication starts. So that is how I get this organisms in the same stage of their growth, that is in synchrony, that's induction. The same thing I can do with pH also, same thing I can do with nutrition also. So this is about the induction technique. So we had seen two techniques to get synchronous culture: separation based on cell size, that is Henstetter-Cummings technique, and induction technique. Here we are separating the organisms based on the size, and then those organisms are in the same stage of their growth. Induction technique, we are giving them unfavorable conditions, and on the return of favorable conditions, they are all in the same stage of their growth. So that is about the about this particular synchronous culture. Synchronous culture is very, very important for study purposes. As I had told you, the main reason is in research labs. I want to know the cell cycle, I want to know the rate of growth, I want to know the growth rate of a particular, I want to know the doubling time, I want to know the generation time. So all these things will I will be able to study if I have a synchronous culture. So that is about synchronous culture. Moving on to the next type, that is continuous culture. Now what is the meaning of continuous culture? Here I want all the organisms to divide, that's it. I am not bothered whether they are in cell elongation stage or whether the DNA replication is happening or whatever. I don't want the organisms to be in the lag phase or the stationary phase. I don't want them to be in those two phases or the death phase. I want them continuously to be growing exponentially. I just want them to multiply. So this is the main purpose. That's the continuous culture. There's only log phase here. Okay, now if you see the graph again, if you have to compare, this is a normal growth curve bacteria, lag phase, there is log phase, the stationary and the death phase. Now I told you that I want the organisms only in the log phase, so definitely the graph that I'm going to get is only as the time increases, the number is also increasing. So this is what I will be getting. So this is the graph that I will be getting. Now how can I achieve this continuous phase? Now in order to understand that, I should know why the organisms are in the lag phase or the stationary phase or the death phase. The organisms reach these phases because one, depletion of nutrition, second, accumulation of toxins by the microorganisms, which are metabolites. Now if I am controlling these two components, then definitely I can achieve the organisms to be in the log phase. Now what are the different methods of getting the organisms to be in the continuous culture? One is the chemostat and one is the turbidostat. Let us see what are these two things. Now this is the pictorial representation of a chemostat. Remember, I told you that we are going to control the nutrients and the toxin accumulations. That is what we are going to do here. So this is the culture tank wherein I am growing the organisms. What does a culture tank have? Of course, it has the culture medium with the organisms growing. It has one airflow because of course it requires oxygen for survival, otherwise again it becomes an unfavorable condition. And there is an inlet, there is an outlet too. The inlet, what is connected to the inlet? There is one more tank in which there is fresh sterile medium. There is one fresh sterile medium in the inlet tank that is connected to the inlet tank. And what is connected to the outlet tank? Outlet tank is there is another tank which collects the medium that is coming from the culture tank. Now what am I doing here is I will be growing the microorganisms. Organisms will be happily growing. You know that as the organisms reach the log phase, as they reach the later stage of the log phase, during the log phase they constantly consume the nutrients and they continuously release their metabolites. So what happens at this stage is I should not allow the nutrients to get depleted. So as they reach their almost the log phase, the end of log phase, I continuously supply nutrients from this tank, and the amount of nutrients, how much ml of the medium, this fresh medium I'm adding, the same amount of the used consumed medium I will be eliminating out. Suppose I am adding 1 ml of medium for 1 hour, means it will be in controlled condition. So for 1 hour 1 ml of the medium will be added. It could be drop wise, it could be 0.1 ml for one, it depends. So 1 ml 1 hour, this is an example that I'm giving. It depends on the kind of organism that I'm growing here. Then if I'm adding 1 ml of the medium every for 1 hour, same 1 ml of the medium I will be removing out for 1 hour. How much of media I'm adding, that much of media I will be removing out. So continuous supply of nutrients is happening here, and continuous removal of waste products are also happening here. So there is no accumulation that's happening. So because there is no accumulation of metabolites and nutrients are given in enough quantity, the organisms are only dividing here. What are the disadvantages of the advantages? Yes, definitely I can get continuous supply of organisms. They are only multiplying as I want. One thing is there will be loss of organisms along with the media. Even if the organisms are lost, it is okay, because I am not more concerned about it, because still those remaining organisms, it could be just 0.5% of the organisms are lost, but the remaining organisms are still there in the medium, and these remaining organisms will multiply. So hardly trace amount of organisms are being lost here. So that is not, I am not bothered about those organisms which are lost. So this is a chemostat. The next method which I told you is turbidostat. Turbidostat is exactly like this chemostat, but only difference here is I am going to control the supply of nutrients and removal of the metabolites through counting the organisms. I know after a particular load the metabolites would have increased, or after a particular load I would have studied that in my synchronous culture, when the organisms would have reached the stationary phase and all that, I would have studied then. So the organisms, I will control the organisms based on number. So that is the thermostat, so the turbidostat. So this is the setup of the turbidostat. Now what does it have? It has a tank, the culture tank, in which the organisms are growing. This is attached to a photocell and a light source. It is attached to an inlet and an outlet. Outlet is for removal of the excess media, and inlet is for the addition of the fresh medium. Now there is a control valve here. This is to control how much of media should be added. Now this light source and the photocell, what does it do is it will reflect the light. It will count the number of organisms. The principle is just like your spectrophotometer. You would have studied this in your last year. Spectrophotometer is used to count the number of cells. So it will give you the number of cells present in the given in this particular solution. So you will have to control it accordingly. You would have already studied that after this many number, the organism's threshold level would have reached. There are the depletion, nutrient depletion will start. So accordingly, when the number reaches to that particular level, then you would have automated for the new fresh medium to enter, and for the removal of the used up medium. So when suppose for example after say 500 million organisms, once 500 million organisms are reached, you know that now there are no more nutrients. You would have studied this. So at 500 million organisms, if it crosses this number, then you will start adding the medium, and the excess medium is removed out. If you are adding 1 ml of medium for 1 hour, 1 ml of media is removed out. So when you are doing this media gets diluted, I mean to say, with respect to the number. So again the inflow stops, they continuously multiply. Again the number reaches the threshold, again the media is added, excess is removed out. So there is continuous supply of nutrition, continuous removal of nutrition, removal of used up metabolites. So here the control happens by counting the number of organisms by a photocell using the turbidometry. Basically I am checking the number of cells using the turbid, we are checking the turbidity of a solution. If you see a solution more turbid, more organisms are there, less turbid, less organisms are there. Probably I will not go into the details of how the spectrophotometer works because you've already studied about this. So this is about the turbidostat. What is the reason? Now why do I need to have the turbidostat? Why do I need to have a chemostat? In other words, why do I need to have a continuous culture? If you see the graph, why I want the log phase. Now the organisms, I told you that in this phase the organisms are only dividing, they are continuously consuming the nutrients and continuously their metabolites are released out. Now these metabolites are useful for us. I may use that, these metabolites could be antibiotics for me, these metabolites could be anything that I am using as some product in an industry. So these are the metabolites. Now these, here I will get primary metabolites and here I will get secondary metabolites. So that is the reason when the organisms are in this phase they release out, because they are voraciously consuming nutrients, definitely they are releasing out their metabolites, and those are useful for humankind. I will use that industrially important metabolites are released out. So that is why I want the organisms to be growing continuously in this particular phase. That's why I want continuous culture technique. So this is the reason. Thank you.